Welcome to She Wears the Pants, the podcast where women build companies that can hold their calling. I'm your host, Ashley Deland, business advisor, multi-business founder, and startup investor, guiding women to scale with structure, strategy, and self-mastery. Every week, we go behind the scenes of high-growth, women-led brands to talk about the real work, the identity evolution, the leadership required, and the strategy that actually sustains success. If you're ready to build a business and life you love, you're in the right room. All right, welcome to She Wears the Pants. And today we have an extra special guest, one who I've been listening to and connecting to for years, and someone that is an intricate part of my almost daily routine, and that is Miss Amanda Sellers.
Ashley. I'm just jumping the gun here.
Into it. I'm here for it. I love you. So Amanda's journey is filled with creative evolution and true entrepreneurial success. She started out as a singer-songwriter, releasing 3 albums and then toured across Canada and the US. She even sang backup vocals for New Kids on the Block. Such a girl fan. Then her passion for performance led her to voice acting, where she's thrived for over 8 years, working with top-tier brands like Ziploc, Pepsi, Apple, and Nike. And Miss Sellers is an award-winning voice actor with multiple Voice Arts Award nominations, as well as a renowned meditation teacher with millions and millions of downloads on Insight Timer. And she's also going to be a soon-to-be published author, as well as she is a mother of 2 boys, Beck and Trace. So Amanda, my love, welcome.
Thank you so much. That was like take 2. Thank you so much for having me. And I gotta say, Ashley, I was checking out your podcast before I came on, and the intro for your podcast came on, which you have just heard if you're listening. I was like, oh, who did she get to do her voice intro? That's like such a good, talented voice actor. And then you kept talking. You're like, I'm Ashley. I'm like, whoa, it's you.
I love that.
I gotta say, you could be a voice actor.
You know, I once had an ex-boyfriend tell me that I sounded like one of those call girls, like the phone sex girls, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's such a compliment. It's an even bigger compliment coming from you. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So the first time I met you at Maison Summit, I went right up to you and I was like, you have been a part of so many of my days. And you're a part of my routine, especially when it comes to keynotes or big events. I walk my neighborhood and I listen to you on Insight Timer over and over and over. And it was actually Hannah who was like, you need to connect with Amanda Sellers. And I was like, okay. So I don't get shocked when I meet people because I've, used to work for Much Music. I've met millions, but when I saw you, I was like, holy shit, she's like white light around you type of deal. So I was instantly fangirling over you. For people that don't know you, can you tell us a bit about your background and who you are, how you got started in the entrepreneurial world?
Yeah, you got it. Well, I was born and raised in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And, when you're growing up and you have that thing inside, you feel different. You feel like you don't belong. And I was just always so curious about what else was out there. So I left home right at 18. I graduated high school. And even when I sat in high school, I'm like, I just wanted to get out so bad. At parent-teacher interviews, my biology teacher told my parents that I was an underachiever and literally handed them a piece of paper on how to handle an underachieving child. And I was just in the wrong space. I'm not into biology. So I was a housekeeper in Banff. I'm like, I got to get to Vancouver. I'm trying to go from middle of Canada to the West Coast. I make it to Vancouver. I get into theater school. I start, just trying to get on stage and use my voice and perform. I was always into acting. I got an acting coach. And while I was in theater school, there was an ad, a classified, that this band needed a singer. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. So I started singing in bands. And then as time unfolded, I found myself in Los Angeles and I was singing and I met these two people that had MBAs from Harvard, like they just had graduated Harvard Business School, and they wanted to start another band, like this band as a business. And they asked me to join, and we put our stuff in storage. We got a 15-passenger van and hit the road, lived in this van. So I learned so much from them. I learned the art of leveraging. So we would be trying to get a show at a big stage in New York, and they would say that, oh, we're going to be playing at the Viper Room in Los Angeles on Sunset. So then the New York people would be like, oh, you're at the Viper? Sure. But then they would do it vice versa. They would tell, the Viper that we're playing at Kenny's Castaway in New York. They're like, okay, you can get on this bill. And just kind of that whole idea of faking it before you make it and amping things up and just having that confidence. And I've always been that type of person anyway. Like I'll go for it, I'll jump in. So the band broke up. I found myself as a radio DJ. And the first day I was a DJ, I did the announcements that were local. And for a commercial, I did a voiceover. And I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a voice actor. So that was 15 years ago. So I've actually been a voice actor for 15 years full time. And it was just that light switch where I knew once I did my first ever commercial that was what I meant to do. And I just put my heart and soul into it. So entrepreneurial, like I feel like I'm a creative.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily an entrepreneur. I think I had to teach myself to become an entrepreneur because if I wanted to do this business, I had to fend for myself because I'm just solo. It's just me. So that's been most of the learning process. But the creative part is what I live and breathe and just wake up to do.
Oh, I love that. What has been your favorite commercial to date? And do you remember the verbiage, like the narrative?
Well, the one that paid the most was Ziploc, and it was Ziploc, unlock life, SC Johnson, a family company. Just the typical. I did a whole series for them, and it went on for like 2 to 3 years, and they just kept calling me back for more and more. So I've done a lot of crazy commercials. Like you can't turn on a TV without hearing me in some capacity.
Amazing.
So there's been a lot. The funniest one was I got hired to be the sniff in a Febreze commercial, like the sniff. And I thought it was going to be like a 2-minute voiceover session because I'm working with the clients, and it was this agent in New York. He's like, okay, you're going to be the sniff. And I'm like, oh, easy. Just inhale, exhale, But I was on the call with them for over an hour. The people at Febreze are very specific about how you're going to breathe in that beautiful, fresh scent. So, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
So then how did you transition? Because I didn't know that you were in voice acting. I only knew you from Insight Timer and being like the woman with the voice. How did you transform into a meditation creator, teacher, and somebody who has had millions and millions of downloads?
It was 2017, 2018. I found myself married with 2 little kids, completely burnt out, just struggling to keep everything going and to just wear all of the hats. And I burnt out. I got super sick, and I turned to meditation, and it was helping me get through this really hard time. And looking back in the span of my life, I've had a lot of trauma. I've been through a lot. So even back when I was like 20 years old, personal development, self-improvement, spirituality, discovering myself, tapping into pure potential, changing those limiting beliefs, breaking patterns. I've always been super fascinated with it. So I'm meditating, but you get in this, I'm a mom, I'm running my business. Like you kind of forget sometimes. So I had completely forgotten. I was just waking up and going through the motions. So I'm sick, I'm meditating, I'm going through it, I'm feeling better. And my husband had been listening to Insight Timer, and he's like, why don't you put your stuff on Insight Timer, like what you're doing? Because I was helping my son go to sleep at night. I was talking to him like just vocally because I had such bad vertigo I couldn't lay down. So I would just sit there and talk him through this gratitude meditation from head to toe. And yeah, my ex-husband was like, "Why don't you record that?" And because I've got all the stuff. So that is how it started without any filtering. I had no idea how to write a meditation. I had no idea if it was good, bad, what you're supposed to do, but just leaping in, just going for it. I uploaded it and it became really popular. And then that was how the journey started. Then I, studied more meditation. I went to a silent meditation retreat with Michael Bernard Beckwith. I took a weekend training on being a meditation teacher. I got certified as a breathwork coach and just everything that you could, just dove in and then kept writing, and everything that helped me was what I would upload. I'm like, oh, I'm going through this really anxious time. How am I going to get through it? I'm researching how I'm going to get through it. And then that's what I would write, record, upload. So it's really been this self-healing journey for myself that other people have benefited from. And I've just met such incredible people on this journey, like yourself, through
Yeah.
this. So I'm very grateful.
I wonder if you really ever sit down and realize how many millions of people you've actually impacted. Because I mean, for me alone, I had such a huge fear of public speaking. And I would be listening to your walking into the future meditation, as you saw, like even my last event last week, it is on repeat for me. And you have impacted like so many people's lives. And I wonder if you ever just sit back and you're like, damn, like
Well, thank you.
you really, really are such a blessing. So
I appreciate that. And it's truly what it's like, when they say finding your purpose. So being a voice actor, it pays my bills and it fulfills me creatively. But being able to write something and record it and express myself and then have it help somebody else, I feel like that's my purpose. And it doesn't feel like work. I get to learn, I get to explore this, then I get to express it, and then someone else benefits from it. It's the best. Like I'm so grateful. I love it. And yeah, just gonna continue with it forever.
and now you're kind of getting into the world of keynotes, right? And, becoming a speaker as well as a published author. But I had the ability to hear your story on a 2-day span at Maison. And it's really cool when women stand in front of a room and they are automatically stepping into vulnerability and just raw realness. I think that that just opens the floodgates for true, authentic connection. And that's exactly what you did. You just like led the room out of authenticity. And you could have gone up there and been like, Ziploc and Pepsi and Nike, but you didn't. You were fully, fully transparent. And I just appreciated that because I think it's somewhat of a lost art as well.
Mm,
When we see speakers, we're like, one day I'll be like them. And like, I hope to become like her. But you led with transparency.
mm.
And I really, really, really respected that. If you could go back to kind of like the younger version of yourself where you were starting, you had a shitty high school experience and you were starting into entrepreneurship, what advice would you give her?
Oh my God. It would be to not listen to the people around you. As this young, vulnerable girl that had no leaders, no mentors, no one looking out for her, I was so alone. I really would look up to people as their word was, holy. Okay. Oh, that's what you have to do to make it in the music business. Okay, I'll go do that. Oh, that's it. Like, so now when I look back, I just want to be like, F you to all of those people because they're just going off what they think or know. Like they just led me astray. I had so many people lead me astray. And so I would look back, I would tell that girl to put these blinders on and go for it. Like you have the power. You have the answer, and just to be bold and just to keep going. But being this sort of wounded bird, really. I'm just like this wounded bird that I never really did get that like raw, like I've never been so fierce that I could just knock down walls. I've always had that sort of soft, gullible, naive part of me that is really trusting, and that was kind of a flaw. I mean, it helps me in the way that I can get up in front of people and be really raw and vulnerable, but then it's kind of taken me in weird directions. So that would be it. Because I know I have the talent. Like now I know that girl at 20, holy crap, like if she just had the right mentors,
Right.
it would have been like boom. But because I had the wrong people around me, it just kept going like, So I would say like if you were watching, I was going like downhill. Meeting the Harvard Business School couple, like the Amanda and James that were my bandmates, that's where I saw that they were, I would say, the turning point of positive influences in my life because they had good families, they had, values, morals, these crazy educations. They knew so many people that were successful all across the country. So that really opened my eyes. We would be going to Alabama and they'd be friends with the mayor of Alabama. And so we got, just being surrounded in that environment, that's when I really got to see like, oh, okay, you can pave your own path. You can do it yourself. You don't have to be at the mercy of everybody else.
I love that. So you would say that would be a pivotal moment in your entrepreneurial journey that contributed to a lot of your success and business growth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It gave me the courage and the confidence to do things on my own so that when the band unfortunately did break up and I did go into radio, I did have their business ideas in my head that I can do it. And a part of it too was the American way. In Canada, I feel this is what I felt when I came back to Canada because I lived in the States and it was so, oh, it is what you make it.
Mhm.
And it's the land of opportunity and it can go as far as you'll take it. And they just had this cutthroat like drive. And I'm not saying that Canadians don't because obviously I'm looking at top female entrepreneur in Canada right now. But it made me realize that, oh, you don't have to be passive and so nice, And it really did help me become a voice actor. So I'm grateful to them.
I love that. It is 100% a different mentality.
Mm-hmm.
There's no,
Yeah.
no doubt about that. I want to dive into a little bit of your obstacles, challenges, and failures because, from the outside, I think people look at us and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so successful and they're so beautiful and everything going for them. And they just walk into the rooms and rah-de-da-de-da, they lead them. But it's only in the moments of vulnerability where we get to share our stories that the true power comes into play, which is, for those
Mm-hmm.
listening, Amanda is part of the Unreserved co-authored book that we are putting together because her story is so powerful. Would you be open to sharing a few of your failures and how they had pivoted you into such a successful direction?
Yeah. So, I mean, which one do I start with?
Of that.
Failures. I mean, my marriage failed. And when I look back at what I could have done differently, is I went through some incredibly difficult times where I was abused and manipulated. And so when I got through that, when I met my now ex-husband, I just needed someone safe that wouldn't hurt me. And he was 7 years younger than me. And he would never hurt a fly. Like he's literally the kindest, sweetest human being. But being so driven and fierce, it was a mismatch. Our energies were not aligned. So that failed because my trauma was trying to keep me safe in this relationship where it's really destined to fail because we're just completely different people. But it was just this mask. And years go by, now you have kids, you're married, you are in this business together. And then so unraveling that was so difficult because we both kind of had our parts in the business. He's very organized and type A and could kind of keep that part of my brain going, which was wonderful. I mean, we did so well together when we were on fire. But then when you add kids into the mix and all of that becomes exposed to all of those, those things that you need to look at. So now the good thing is because I've gotten through I would say the toughest part of the divorce, right? It's like that initial peeling back the layers and the pain. That's talking from like the wound, not the scar, like the pain of just that, oh, that desperation and what do you do, right? Like I had moments where I was crying so hard when my kids would go and like have their time with their dad, right? Like that, how can I live without my child? Like how can I even spend this night knowing they're not in this house? But and then you get through that, right? So there's all these little firsts that feel like a punch in the gut. First time, he's got a new girlfriend. First time your kids meet the girl. First time the kids meet her kids. First time they go somewhere together, like all those things that you have to get through. So that was I would say my biggest failure, but now I get to discover who I am again because before we met, I was that crazy girl on stage at the Viper Room on Sunset Boulevard expressing herself, not giving a crap what anyone thought, just speaking to the people at the back, like standing on the monitors, like that's who I am, right? I'm not this really tame person. So being able to unleash that part of me again, but in a more mature way and channel it. I'm not just going to go be some crazy hippie that lives in a van. Although if I didn't have kids, that's probably what I would do. I could easily live in a van.
I love that. In the world of business for you, what do you think the best thing is that you have ever invested in?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. I think it's relationships.
Mm.
I'm an introvert, so it's easy for me to be alone and just stay in my own bubble. But when I've been invited to go to events and different things, and it's like, okay, well, that's gonna take away from this, and that's gonna cost me this much to go. But making that investment is just how you get to the next stage, right? Like being a part of Unreserved Book with you, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited and so grateful because I know it's going to take us all to the next level. So I would say taking those risks, making those investments, and then utilizing them, like seeing it through. Yeah.
It really is like the power of proximity. I feel like
Yes.
a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, this is my point of view, so I can't say a lot of people, but in my point of view, the most prosperous capital is relationship capital.
Yeah.
Self in the right rooms and creating like sisterhoods and not just business networking. And, I hate the saying like your net worth is your network. And I'm just like, no, how about
Mm-hmm.
you enter a room as yourself and not have your hand out? Instead,
Mm-hmm.
there to support and serve other people. But it's so true. Your community can really, really, really raise the floor for
Mm-hmm.
others. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we're lucky to have been in the same room. And it's been my next question authentically to you was like, what has been a game changer? And I feel like for you and I both, it has been getting into the right rooms. Is there anything
Absolutely.
that you would say would be a game changer for you?
I think it's being aware of your patterns and being able to not get too wrapped up in doing the same thing, having the courage to see beyond and change and make the changes. And I say that because I was looking at a story and I was literally at the same furniture store a year later, like to the date. So I'm like, oh, okay, so November 6th is the day where I think I need to make my house better. Like, okay, what other patterns am I doing that are just keeping me stuck in this bubble. So having the awareness to really see the choices that you're making, and are these helping me? Are they getting me forward? Like some things that we do are taking us forward, right? You have the consistent routine of your morning routine or your meditation practice. Yes, those routines are great, but what are the ones that are keeping you held back? And then just having the courage to take that risk, like being a part of the book. I'm, just diving in, taking that risk. I think those are the things that make the biggest impact. And something that has really helped me over the years too is the bold moves where I'll reach out to somebody with, well, the worst they can say is no. Like I started working with Jesse Itzler and Sarah Blakely, two of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world. And it was a leap of faith and just going for it. And they easily could have said no, but guess what? I got my foot in the door. They heard my demo. I made a custom demo for them for a product that they were working on. And I've been working with them ever since. So that's part of thinking beyond. That's part of disrupting the pattern of the day to day. Sure, I easily could have checked my inbox, see what audition my agent had for me, do that audition, send it away. But it's okay, who else that's not part of my agency, not part of production companies that are in my list? Where do I want to take this? And so now, because I've opened that door with Jesse and have been working with them, oh, now I've met that person, and now I'm going to Tulum next month for their business retreat, or now I'm doing this, or now so taking those risks.
And making the big moves and putting the ask on the table. I feel like women were always, prying into how to act and what to wear and what careers are acceptable for us and not. And we have forgotten that we have the power for the ask, period. And that's what you've done, right? You have a huge set of ovaries and you put the ask on the table and, you know, you got what you wanted, which is such a thing. And I love seeing women stand up for the ask.
Yeah.
Along with that comes a lot of limiting beliefs and fears and failures. What advice would you give women in business who are dealing with imposter syndrome or fears that keep them small, silent, and stuck?
I think it's before we can have this, belief in ourselves, like one thing that I really have been good at, I would say, is not judging other people. So, because then when if we're judging other people, then obviously we're judging ourselves. So just having this open mind, and you really got to do the work to have that belief in yourself. Like, I know it's hard, but the cliche, be comfortable getting uncomfortable. But if I was just speaking to someone right now that wasn't sure if they should go for it, it's like, what do you have to lose? Like in a year from now, do you want to be in this exact same spot? Or, do you want to say, at least I tried, at least I went for it? Like, I don't want to have regrets. Like that is actually a big fear of mine, is to look back one day and be like, oh, I wish I would have tried. So we really have nothing to lose. My grandparents were on the news yesterday for their stories in World War II. My grandmother, when she was 14 years old in London, her house got bombed, and she became a professional dancer as a teenager to help support her family. But in return, she got to live her passion as a professional dancer. She's now like renowned. But I think about that and I say, well, she did that because she literally had nothing to lose. She didn't have a home. So we have these homes, we have these comfortable spaces, but just imagine if you didn't have anything to lose. Like, I think we have to look at it from that spot of, there's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. Who cares about your house and your things, or your pride? Like, you gotta jump in. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta stand for something.
Right. And I think that, between you and I, when we first met, I think that it was actually our traumas that bonded us instantly.
Hmm.
As I mentioned before, like trauma attracts trauma, like we see each other,
Yeah,
and also that vulnerability does. And I feel like a lot of people are staying in their limiting beliefs because it makes them feel so secure. And it's funny that you're telling me that you're introverted from like the girl who was on stage extroverted, and it it's funny to see because I still see you as, like, that girl that, new kids on the block and here and there, and so it's interesting to me that you're saying that you're introverted, but it is so easy to stay in your fears and stay in your limiting beliefs and not have the ask because it's really comfortable there. It really.
hmm,
And for anybody listening, if you are putting your hand up saying, I know I'm silent and scared and just staying small, then I would really challenge you to take this next week and do something that scares you every single day so that you get used to that fear and you get used to that feeling of being uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, fear looks like this vast ocean, but it's actually just a shallow puddle.
absolutely.
Faster you walk through it, the more empowered you get to understand that you can look it in the face and overcome it very quickly.
Absolutely. And I had a friend a couple weeks ago, and I think could have been from, me sharing like, take the risk, go for it. What do you got to lose? Even if it's something so small as doing something that you used to love. She
Mm.
used to play flute in an orchestra like 20 years ago. Well, and she thought, well, I can't do that. I'm too old now. I've got my responsibilities. But she took that risk to go to the orchestra on Monday nights and play flute again. And she's finding joy in that, and it's bringing her fulfillment. And then that's just going to take a step into the next thing that's going to give her confidence. So even if it's something small, just that you used to do that you want to try again, or trying something different. Is it a new sport? Is it an art class? Is it just something like that that, can help you, because that's how you get the momentum, is confidence in yourself, completing something, trying something, and then snowballs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What's on the horizon for you, both like in terms of business and personal growth? Any big dreams that you're currently looking to make a reality?
Well, I really want a boyfriend.
Putting that out there.
So manifesting that. No, it's been 3 years though. Come on, people. I'm so excited to be a part of this book with you. So I will be a published author. That is something that is on the horizon. And launching courses and more meditations, more public speaking. And then personally, I love running. I just want to keep running. I just want to keep challenging myself outdoors. Last year, I tried this 50-kilometer race that is just like so many hills, and my legs were tired from a race a week prior. It was crazy, but I couldn't complete the race. Like I had to cancel after, I have to leave after like 43 kilometers. So my goal is to complete that this year. Beaver Flat 50.
I love that. I love that. So just to wrap this up, our signature she wears the pants question. Looking back on your journey of wearing the pants, what message do you want to relay for future generations of women in business?
Don't take things so seriously. If something feels like it's going wrong, tell yourself, everything is working out for me. And to just be fearless, relentless, and take that leap.
I love that. Love that. Okay, so for people who want to continue on with your journey and to learn more about you, where can they find you?
Absolutely. Well, I am on the IG at Amanda underscore Eve underscore Sellers on Instagram, and on Insight Timer, Amanda Sellers. And I would say those are the best two places. I kind of toggle between those two.
For those of you listening who have not heard Amanda on Insight Timer, that is my biggest recommendation, is to head on over there and to listen to her plethora of meditations, everything from, again, walking to the future to looking into the past to in moment. Your voice is next level. Your energy is so soothing and gentle. And it really has transformed my life. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity to sit here today and to connect with you, because I know that you're going to continue to transform so many people's lives. So thank you for being here on She Wears the Pants.
Ashley, thank you so much for having me. I adore you, love you, and maybe we could start a call girl center together. Hello. I'm just kidding.
I love it.
This was She Wears the Pants, where women rise into what they're meant to hold. If this episode moved you, changed you, or challenged you, send it to a woman you want to see rise. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready for deeper strategy, identity expansion, and high-level support, you can find me on Instagram at Ashley Deland. Until next time, keep leading boldly, building intentionally, and becoming the woman your calling requires.